Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another US state type reaction, and this one is what does every US state flag mean? For me, this is going to be my first video doing or seeing a lot of my first time, sorry, not first video, my first time seeing a lot of the US flags. But also, I can see the definition as well within this video, so it's like two topics in one, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting video. I know a lot of people are going to enjoy this, but I don't know what's taking me so long. I feel like I was supposed to do this video maybe like a month ago or something, and it's just one of those things that I didn't forget about, but I just had so many other reactions to do. But we're finally here. It's my first time doing a reaction to this channel as well, so shout out to him, Knowledge Hub. Maybe some more reactions from him if you guys have any suggestions there. But let's just get into this one. I'm not even going to talk too much. Let's just check this one out. Quick shout out to my Instagram and my Twitter, links in the description for that. The support on all socials has been incredible. Obviously on YouTube it's nuts, but even on Instagram I'm getting a lot of love through messages and just people commenting under my photos, etc. Same through Twitter. I'm loving Twitter as well, just interacting with all of you. But yeah, links are all there for that. Same for my Patreon. These videos will all go out earlier on Patreon, so yeah, you would have seen this probably a day or two before if you did have that. Obviously not everyone can, but for those who are interested or were wondering, the links are all there for Patreon as well. But yeah, let's just check this one out. Let's see what every flag in the US means, or every state flag means. And yeah, let's just get learning, man.
Keyword, states.
Jesus Christ, this is loud.
And there are 50 of them. Each has their own culture, history, sometimes even dialect. If you are a state, then you have a flag, and as a channel about geography, that's all I care about. But too few Americans know the history and meaning behind those flags, even the story behind their own home state. So that's why I thought it's time for a little overview on the meaning of the US state flags. First off is Alabama. The flag of
Well, let's just do
Alabama has a crimson St. Andrew's cross atop a white background. This was adopted in 1895 and is based off of the battle flag of the 60th Alabama Infantry Regiment of the Confederate Army. Hint, most southern flags are based off the Confederates. Alaska.
Okay.
Alaska's flag was actually adopted more than 30 years before it officially became a state. Designed by an Alaskan native and orphan Benny Benson, the flag has a dark blue background symbolizing
That's
the
pretty
sky
cool,
with
story.
8 gold stars, 7 in the shape of the big.
Isn't it to do with like star placements, or is it just anything to do with that, like to do with space?
Dipper, a part of the Ursa Major constellation, which means Great Bear, and an 8th on the corner symbolizing the future for Alaska. Arizona. The flag of Arizona was designed by a captain of the National Guard, who realized while training with other states, Arizona didn't have a symbol, so he made one himself. This design was then passed down and
this one is quite cool, actually.
Finally came. The flag is split in two. The top half has 13 red and gold rays of the sun, in reference to the original 13 colonies. The colors in honor of the Spanish conquistadors, even though those colors were never actually flown by them. The star symbolizes copper, a major resource, and the blue is a reference to the Colorado River. Arkansas. The flag of Arkansas was designed in 1912 because they needed a flag to fly on the USS Arkansas, and there was none. The flag consists of a diamond, symbolizing the only diamond resource in the US at the time, with 28 stars around the border, as in the 28th state. The original design had 3 stars in the middle of the diamond. Their meaning is still debated. The committee for the flag, as committees do, just had to make changes, and added the word Arkansas, just so you don't forget. In 1923, a 4th star was added to pay homage to the Confederates, and that design is still around today. California. The bear flag is in reference to the 1846 bear flag.
See, for me, this is probably the most famous flag, but again, that's probably because I've not seen a lot of other ones, and I see this one a lot. But isn't there like a thing that there's no bears there or something?
Revolt. The bear itself is actually extinct. It's from a species called the Californian grizzly bear, which died off in 1924. The red symbolizes courage, and the white purity. The star symbolizes Texas. At the time, Texas was another Lone Star state that was enemies with Mexico. They saw themselves as brothers. Oh, how times change. Colorado. Although the state itself is a century old, the flag of Colorado was adopted in 1964. The sea, I'll let you guess what that means, is a red color for the earth. The golden disc symbolizes the sun, and the blue for the sky. The white stripe in the middle is for the snowy mountains. Connecticut. The flag of Connecticut is actually not the state seal atop a blue banner. I wanted to rant about this infuriating trend across too many states, but guess I'll have to wait. While it does include a bit of a seal, it's atop a white shield. The 3 grapevines reference to the original 3 oldest settlements, grapevines symbolizing growth. The motto, "He who transplanted still remains," flies underneath the shield. Delaware. Although Delaware is the oldest state, its flag is barely a century old, and its flag even has the state's date of founding across the bottom, its seal in the center with a diamond surrounding it. The colors are in reference to the uniform of George Washington. Florida. History lesson. Florida had been under the control of the Spanish until 1822, when Spain just didn't want it anymore and ceded the territory to the US. Florida didn't have a flag until the Civil War. After the war, the state was simply the seal with a white background. By 1900, it was apparent this looked too similar to a surrender flag, and so it was changed to a crimson St. Andrew's cross. This time not in reference to the Confederates, but to the Cross of Burgundy from Spain. Georgia. Georgia is that state that can't seem to pick what outfit to wear.
There's a lot of links to Spain, which obviously makes sense because the Spanish sort of, when the Spanish were like in those states, but the influence is still there, of course, but I didn't expect it to be in the flags
Since the
as
Civil
well.
War, it has changed its flag over 7 times,
Wow.
twice since the year 2000 alone. Before 1879, it didn't have a flag, but eventually it did change, and its new banner was to memorialize the Confederate soldier. The 3 stripes, red and white, in reference to the original flag. Keep in mind the first official Confederate States flag was never this, but this. And the Georgian flag kept this general design for a few decades, changing it occasionally.
Fun little fact, my granddad that I've never ever met, this is a weird one, man. My granddad that I've never met, so my mum's dad, lives in the US and he lives in Georgia, I'm pretty sure. And he's got, basically, I've got a half brother there because my mum, my dad's, I don't know why I'm saying this, my dad's wife couldn't have children, and my mum had her child, and obviously gave them the child. It was obviously, I don't know the in-depth details, but basically my half brother has lived in the US the majority of his life, if not his whole life. I've never even spoke to him because I don't really speak to that side of my family. It's just kind of weird. I've got a long lost brother in the US who is American. He's from the US, and it's just like, what the hell? That's what, if I could ever get like around that, and if he could get sorted there, that could be an interesting sort of thing to do. Because I mean, it's a way that I could get to the US, but I just find it crazy. I've got literally a half brother, blood related brother from the US. He lives in the US. He's probably got the most US accent or American accent you can really imagine, from like Georgia. Like, mate, I can't believe it. When I found that out, I was like, wait, what the fuck? This is crazy. Life's crazy. When you find out new things like that, it is crazy. I don't know why I'm even saying this, but I just think it's quite an interesting sort of storyline to have, I guess you could say. Like, someone of my blood is, I don't know, I can't even get my head around it. But I mean, maybe in future I'll meet them, and when I do go to the US, that could be a sort of factor in going. But crazy things, man.
Like
just thought I'd get that out there.
Putting on new seals
for those who
and
actually
stuff
give
like
it
that. In 1956, the stripes were replaced by the battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia. I wonder why. This flag stuck around until 2001. While keeping it eventually became too controversial. Those who disliked this flag actually opted to fly the pre-1956 flag, which was still a reference to the Confederates. In a hurried attempt to get a new design, a new flag was chosen, which was, oh god. After 2 brief years, this flag was dropped by popular referendum with the current flag, now with just a slight resemblance to the original CSA flag. Hawaii. Hawaii is the only state in the US which includes the Union Jack. For now,
come on, boys!
For a brief moment
we done
in
it.
Hawaiian history,
Our influence is still somewhat there. Thank God for that.
It was associated with the British Empire. Its flag shares the similar style to the US, and it has 8 red, white, and blue stripes for the 8 main islands of the archipelago. Idaho. Okay, now I can finally talk about something that has infuriated me as a fan of vexillology, study of flags, more than anything else. There are 50 states in the Union. 24 of those states have flags that are nothing more than the state seal, which look like these, over top a blue, green, or basic color background. Washington's seal only includes the face of George Washington. The state which has the nature of this, a distinct culture of its own, has a flag that looks like this. Flags are symbols. They represent our history and heritage. a summary of who we are. Putting a seal on a solid background for a state flag is the vexillology equivalent of microwaving a Hot Pocket for a romantic dinner. If a state's flag can't even be differentiated from afar or up close, then that's just wasteful. For example, what flags are these states from? New York and Michigan, two entirely different places. From an outside view, they could be neighbors. Without the names of the states either plastered on or included in the seal, we couldn't even tell half of them apart. Idaho is one of these states. And so I'm not going to waste my time or yours saying the state seal with a solid blue, green, or white banner over 20 times. So here are the states which have made it onto Cody's list of shame.
Idaho, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin. I've also just realised, when I said the California flag might be the most sort of familiar to me, or the most, I say famous, the most sort of well-known out of the US, I think I'm wrong. I think the Texas one is, to be honest. When I actually come to think of it, the Texas one is one I've sort of always known about. The Californian one is something I knew about recently, but I don't know. But these states getting a big shout out, yeah. Fuck's sake. You hate to see it.
Indiana. Indiana's flag consists of a gold torch symbolizing liberty, surrounded by 19 stars, as in the 19th state in the Union, with the word Indiana included for good measure. Iowa. Iowa's flag of red, white, and blue is homage to the French tricolor.
Yeah.
Iowa was once
That's quite a cool flag,
Louisiana
actually.
territory ruled by France. A bald eagle flies near the top, holding the banner of the state motto: "Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain."
This is a cool
eagle
flag.
is directly from the state seal, but at least it isn't the whole seal. So, thanks, Iowa. Maryland. Without knowing, you would think that the flag
one
of
as well.
Maryland is more from Europe or the Middle Ages than something from the United States.
Yeah, this is like a sort of a medieval sort of flag, isn't it? It's so, like, not outdated, but it's so that you can sort of see there's a lot of historical meaning behind this one. Not meaning, but just it's an old flag that's obviously, I assume, hasn't been changed throughout its entirety.
States. The black and gold is from the personal banner of George Calvert, 1st Baron of Baltimore. Calvert was an English statesman who had converted to Catholicism under James I. Instead of being shunned from politics, his relationship with the king granted him the title of Baron. Calvert was fascinated with the New World and imagined a colony where Protestants and Catholics lived in peace. His plans were put into place, and after his death, the colony of Maryland was founded. For years, it was a refuge for discriminated Catholics from the British homeland. The cross is directly from the coat of arms for his family. Fun fact, if Maryland had actually seceded during the Civil War, this probably would have been its Confederate flag. Mississippi. Mississippi has the only flag in the Union to include the Virginian battle flag. For now, the red, white, and blue stripes are in reference to the original CSA flag. Another fun fact, Mississippi had a referendum in 2001, where its flag could have been changed to this. The outer 13 stars symbolizing the colonies, the middle stars the nations which included Mississippi, and the final star for, you guessed it, Texas. No, I'm just kidding, it's Mississippi. Missouri. The flag of Missouri includes its state seal. However, it does have 3 stripes, red, white, and blue, in reference to its French heritage, just
French?
like Iowa. Nevada.
Wait, what?
Or
That's not the French flag, are you mad? That's the Dutch flag, isn't it? French flag, mate. I mean, I guess I can see because the French, it's just, you've got to look at it sideways, but that looks like the Dutch flag.
Includes its state seal. However, it does have 3 stripes, red, white, and blue, in reference to its French heritage, just like Iowa. Nevada, or Nevada, I'm not gonna... The flag of Nevada, or Nevada, is a blue banner. In the corner is an entirely unique symbol. The words Battleborn, in reference to the state's birth during the Civil War, are above a silver star. Silver and gold were what made Nevada famous, even being referenced in a very low-key way in the original flag. Sagebrush, the official state flower, underneath the star. New Mexico. New Mexico's flag features the red sun of the Zia, a native people closely related to the Pueblos. The colors red and gold are in homage to the colors of Spain. North Carolina. North Carolina has a blue field on the left, with a red and white stripe splitting down the middle. It has 2 dates, May 20th, 1775, the date the citizens of Mecklenburg County declared independence after the Battle of Lexington, and April 12th, 1776, the date when the Halifax Resolves took place, the first steps taken to declare independence from Britain. North Dakota. North Dakota's flag was originally flown in the American-Philippine War, and its central eagle is in resemblance to the Great Seal of the United States. That's it. Ohio. Ohio never had a flag until 1902.
Oh, so the Ohio flag isn't even rectangular. That's kind of interesting.
Almost a century after becoming a state. The reason why it took so long across the US for states to make flags was because it seemed like having a state flag was disrespectful to the Stars and Stripes, especially in Ohio. There was even a controversy when the flag of Cleveland was adopted. Yet times were changing and a state flag was needed for the 1901 Pan-American Exposition in Buffalo, New York. Yay! Ironically, this is where Ohioan President McKinley was shot and killed. But hey, we got a new flag. Ohio's new flag is particularly unique, not just for the states, but for any political entity. It's the only swallowtail pennant in the entire Union, and just one of the few non-square flags in the world. One question is, why? The Burgie, the official name, is based off of a military flag. This flag was flown from the Civil War until 1885 by the Ohioan U.S. Cavalry. While not exactly the same in design, the shape was inspired and seen as unique to the state. The circle symbolizes the O and a buckeye, the triangle blue for the hills and valleys, 13 stars on the left for the 13 colonies, and 4 on the right to symbolize it being the 17th state. The stripes actually mean something, representing the roads and waterways. Rhode Island. Rhode Island is the ocean state, so it's fitting that its flag would include an anchor. Its flag is a square with a gold outline, with the word hope spread across the banner. The 13 stars symbolizing, you guessed it, the crescent has always been a
fuck's sake, this guy in Texas
symbol for South Carolina, existing all the way back to the start of the American Revolution. The tree was added at the start of the Civil War in reference to the trees which blocked cannon fire in the defense of Sullivan's Island during the Revolutionary War. Tennessee. The 3 stars on the flag of Tennessee symbolize the 3 grand divisions of the state: the Riverside West, the Hilly Center, and the Appalachian East. All 3 brought together in a blue circle that stands for Tennessee. The blue stripe on the right basically is just to balance out the red of the flag. It doesn't mean anything. Texas. The Lone Star flag for the Lone Star State. This was the first national flag for Texas, and has been used ever since. Its design is pretty straightforward and simple. The red and white stripe are reference to the flag of the Fredonian Rebellion, the very first resistance against Mexico in Texas. The stripes symbolize the unity between the Anglo and Native rebels, white and red. The single star itself is a symbol for Texan solidarity. Wyoming. The bison of Wyoming doesn't leave much to interpretation, as the state is home to large populations of bison. The red symbolizes blood of the pioneers and natives, while the white purity. The state seal, of course, just being the state seal.
Oh, that's the end. I mean, interesting video to say the least, but I mean, there's no but really. But yeah, this is a good video. I enjoyed this a lot, and I'm definitely down. I do always enjoy like flags. Flags are something that always interests me. It's just quite a fun thing to look at. Whatever the term he used for it, I don't know what the exact term was. I am one of those, kind of, in a sense. I mean, I didn't know a lot of these flags, so maybe I'm not, but I do like learning about these. It's also interesting seeing like the oh my bad. The sort of the like the influence of other countries. Like you got a lot of the Spanish influence in a lot of the flags. You've got a lot of the French influence in a lot of the flags. There's obviously the Great Britain or the UK in the Hawaiian flag. So it shows there's a lot of influence in the flags. Even though I would have thought like they would keep it a lot like US based, but they've obviously still kept that sort of tradition, which is really interesting. But the more you know, right? So basically, Western flags Spain, Central flags France, the Southeast Confederates, Texas and California, Texas. Petition to have every state change their flag to have one more star to represent Texas. As a Texan scrolling through the comments, this is hilarious. When your state is so forgettable, it doesn't even make the list of shame, cries in Kansas. The O in Ohio's flag represents, you guessed it, Texas. The stars on the Chinese flag represent all 5 letters of the state of, you guessed it, Texas. The American flag stands for you. What is this comment section? The star on the Soviet flag represents, you guessed it. Oh, this is an incredible comment section. No non-list of shame people, where you at? This is incredible. This comment section is incredible. Oh, mate. Wait, 820 he predicted the future.
Flag. For now, the red, white.
Oh, I guess it changed. But essentially, this video is nearly 5 years old. But hopefully, you enjoyed this reaction. I enjoy this kind of stuff, and I'm definitely down to do more. Maybe from this channel if people want more reactions from this channel, or just any others out there. But yeah, let me know about that in future. And until next time, like, subscribe.